We're here back in the Fantasy Bar, big Friday night in the NBA. We got 6 of my favorite plays for you on FanDuel and DraftKings, including a couple guys in the mid-range I think are too cheap, a couple higher-end guys I think get very minimal ownership tonight, and a beast of the night under 8,000 on both sites. Who are we talking about? Belly up to the Fantasy Bar and find out. Welcome in, guys. Friday edition Beers Daily Fantasy 6-pack. Thank you, as always, for stopping by and checking out the video here in the Fantasy Bar. Got 6 guys fresh off the tap for you for a big Friday night in the NBA on FanDuel and DraftKings. Before we get into the plays, you guys know the drill. Take a second, click that thumbs up button. That's the tip jar here in the Fantasy Bar. Thank you so much for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Don't miss any of the content, and head over to scoresandodds.com/beer for everything sports betting related. All right, fun slate of games here tonight. Let's start in the mid-range at small forward, power forward with Kenyon Martin Jr. of the Rockets. Now we know Houston going to be missing some offensive firepower for sure here tonight. Their 2 best offensive players, Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green, both on the sidelines here tonight. And looking at some of the early ownership here, obviously Şengün going to get a big bump, going to be very popular here. Jae'Sean Tate, another guy looking to see a ton of ownership, and I think Jabari Smith Jr. likely higher owned here than Martin as well. So let's take the guy that has a little bit lower ownership here, that has that same level of upside, maybe outside of Şengün, as the rest of these guys. 30 more DraftKings points now in 6 of his last 11 games. So a guy that can get it done in a variety of ways, tons of opportunity and usage available here, and lower ownership than his teammates. KJ Martin leading us off here on the Friday night 6-pack. All right, to the point guard position next. We're going to roll with Trae Young of the Hawks. Now, I think first thing people are going to look at, matchup with the Cleveland Cavaliers. No, thank you. All it's going to do is help keep that ownership down on Trae Young. Last matchup with Cleveland was solid, 25 points, 10 assists in that game. And when you take John Collins off the floor here for Atlanta, who will not play tonight, nice usage bump here for Trae Young, almost 5%, takes him over 37%. Prices under 10K on both sites are going to need his offense here against this very good Cleveland team. Trae Young, low owned on the high end. Guy you should be looking at here on Friday night. All right, back to the mid-range at shooting guard, small forward with Khris Middleton of Milwaukee. Now the Bucks, another team, going to be missing some pieces. Obviously, the big news here, Giannis not going to play here tonight, listed as doubtful. So an outside shot that he plays, but very minimal. Pat Connaughton, Wesley Matthews also out here for Milwaukee. Jordan Nwora off to Indiana. So the Bucks going to be a little bit thin here tonight. I know the big concern, Khris Middleton not playing a ton of minutes, seems to have a 25-minute cap here. First thing, even in 25 minutes, I think this guy can drastically outproduce these numbers. So we have that. Secondly, I think they're going to start to stretch him out here as we approach the playoffs. Second half of the NBA is only about 20, 25 games remaining for each of these teams. So whether it's tonight or moving forward, I think you're going to start to see more and more of Khris Middleton, and that could very well happen tonight. So while other people worry about that, delay on that, I want to get ahead of it here with this jump. Now sees a huge usage jump, and I don't need the limited sample police coming after me. I know it's very limited with him just returning from injury, but it does show an 11% usage bump up to 44% with these guys off the floor this season. So a lot of reasons to like Khris Middleton. If you're hesitant on those minutes, find somebody else. I want to dive in and take advantage here tonight at these mid-range prices. All right, let's spend some more money at small forward, power forward, Kawhi Leonard of the Clippers. So very similar to Trae Young, this is a guy in the high end that not a lot of people are going to look at here tonight. In fact, ownership looking like it could be sub 5% on Kawhi Leonard here tonight. So I certainly want to jump in. Kind of under the radar news, but Ivica Zubac going to miss for the Clippers tonight. And that's good news for Kawhi Leonard. The big man stats, the rebounds, the blocks, things like that should take a jump. They do when you run the numbers in our Court IQ tool. 2.1% usage bump and a big total in this game. We're talking almost 240 on this one. And Kawhi in great form. 4 games of 50 or more DraftKings points over his last 8. Sub 10,000 here on DK, all the way down at 9,200. I think it's a very fair price. Should be an explosive game here. Kawhi Leonard seeing very little ownership. Take advantage here tonight in your builds. All right, back to the mid-range at shooting guard, small forward with Josh Okogie of Phoenix. So no Kevin Durant yet for the Phoenix Suns, and that's good news here for Okogie. Should continue to see a boatload of minutes. I mean, this guy is basically playing the whole game for this Phoenix Suns team, and he's really taking advantage of this opportunity. A guy that has shown it in flashes, but of late, almost 37 DraftKings points per game over the last 4 with these additional minutes. And we're talking 35, 38, 40 minutes in these games for Okogie. Good matchup here as well. OKC, bottom 10 in fantasy points allowed to the small forward position. Solid option here that can drastically outproduce his salaries here in the mid-range. All right, it's time. You take a look at my favorite play for Friday night. Before we do that, let's run it back on our Beast of the Night contest. Easy to play. All you got to do, get in the comment section right below the video. Make sure you've clicked that thumbs up button and subscribe if you have not already. And guess fantasy points on DraftKings for my Beast of the Night. The closest guess going to win themselves a free week of RotoGrinders Premium. Chance to check it all out behind the scenes. And while you're down there, I also want to know who's your top play on this Friday night slate. Who's your Beast of the Night if you were tending the fantasy bar? Sound off in that YouTube comment section. All right, let's wrap this baby up. My favorite play for Friday night, you know, Mass, Beast of the Night. All right, Beast time. We promised you a guy under 8K on both sites. We're going to the center position with Rudy Gobert of Minnesota, tonight's Beast of the Night. Now, we had some more expensive pieces here in the video, but I really love this spot for Rudy Gobert. You guys know this is the spot we love to target here. Bigs against Charlotte. They've lost some bodies here as well, so that interior only continuing to get younger and worse defensively. Rebounding prop on Rudy Gobert, one of the highest I have ever seen in doing this, sitting at 14.5, and that's with juice on the over at -130. So tells you all you need to know here about Rudy Gobert. Should pull down 15 plus rebounds in this spot, should be able to score at will. Charlotte, third most points allowed to the center position, the most rebounds allowed, which fits well with Rudy Gobert's number. Second most block shots allowed, which also fits very well with the old Stifle Tower. And of course, the most fantasy points allowed to this position. Too many positives here for me to ignore. Rudy Gobert in an absolute smash spot here tonight. Easily my favorite play on the board and tonight's Beast of the Night. All right, guys, that'll wrap us up for our look at 6 of my favorite plays for on Friday night in the NBA. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, as always, hit me up in that comment section right below the video. Don't forget fantasy points for Rudy Gobert on DraftKings for your shot at some free RotoGrinders Premium. And who is your top play on this slate? Agree with Rudy Gobert? You got somebody different? Who's your Beast of the Night? Sound off in that comment section. Thumbs up button and subscribe if you have not already. For RotoGrinders.com, I am Beer saying salut, guys. Best of luck this weekend. If you want some more RotoGrinders this weekend, we'll be live on Sirius XM 3 to 5 on Saturday afternoon, channel 87, and back at it again 7 to 9 p.m. on Sunday night. So come support the show, call into the show, have some fun with the RotoGrinders boys over on Sirius XM. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the games tonight. Good luck, and we'll see you next week.
Hey, thanks for checking out our videos. If you want more expert advice on DraftKings, FanDuel, or any other daily fantasy sports, make sure you check out the current videos playlist.